Section 3.1, the rectangular coordinate system. The rectangular coordinate system is two number lines that intersect at the origin, which is point 0 on both number lines. They are perpendicular to each other, forming four sections. Going counterclockwise, starting in the upper right, the first section is called quadrant 1. The second section is quadrant 2. Down below, quadrant 3. And finally, quadrant 4. The horizontal line is called the x-axis, and the vertical line is called the y-axis. The coordinate system consists of many points. Every point has coordinates, an x value and a y value. And those coordinates look like this, separated by a comma and closed in parentheses. X is always first, y is always second. In quadrant 1, the x values and the y values will always be positive. In quadrant 2, the x values will be negative and the y values will be positive. Quadrant 3, both the x and the y will be negatives. And in quadrant 4, the x value will be positive and the y value will be negative. To plot points, we first find the x value and then the y value and put a point where the two intersect. For example, to plot point A, we look at x first is 3. We find that on the number line. And then we look at y, 2. So we go from 3 until we're across from 2 on the y-axis, and that's where we plot point A. It has coordinates 3, 2. To plot point B, we find negative 2 on the number line, and we go down until we are across from negative 4 on the y-axis, and that's where we plot point B. Point B has coordinates negative 2, negative 4. To plot point C, we find 4 on the x-axis and go down until we are across from negative 1 on the y-axis, and that's where we plot point C, which has coordinates 4, negative 1. And finally, to plot point D, we find negative 1 on the x-axis and go up until we are across from positive 3 on the y-axis, and that is where we plot point D with coordinates negative 1, 3.